Cheating wife is mad because I want paternity test. Wife, 36, cheated on me, 35, taking our 2-5-year daughter to her dates. 44-old guy, a decade-long friend of her family. I mentioned the paternity test to her yesterday and she got mad at me. Today she cried to me on the phone that she couldn't sleep and eat and I ruined her life. She told me that this was very rude of me. We have an appointment for next week for mediation, but now I think she might change her mind and decline. Should I apologize for my accusations? Edit. Thanks for all the love and support, it really helps me in these difficult times. Update. How do I approach my cheating wife's AP? AP dated my wife at our home in the presence of our daughter. According to STBX, they did not do anything intimate. My daughter once said to AP that don't steal my daddy. She is only 2-5 years old. I am frustrated from the thought that I'm going to encounter him while I pick my daughter up. The law in my country has no rules for restraining such people from kids. Update 2. Blame shifting mechanisms? I have so many questions racing in my head that I can't seem to organize. After I exposed her taking our daughter to dates with her AP, STBXW started to swear that I am and will always remain my daughter's daddy and how she still loves me as the father of our child. I was there for her in childcare and choirs for almost 4 full days a week when I was not working. Now as I'm moving out, she's going to have a lot more duties. I have to be in touch with her because of our daughter and she never misses a chance to express how exhausted she is. Her parents are going to help out as well as she expects her brother, Sil, and even her girlfriends, with families themselves, to help. Is it possible that if her tactics regarding child care fail, she is going to shift everything on me, saying I was the one who destroyed our family? In one of her messages to her best friend, she already called me all the nasty things, and she also mentioned something about smashing my head because I dared to talk about custody and legal stuff. She swore that this was only on one occasion and apologized, but only after being exposed. Funnily though, I also have a feeling in my guts that she is going to try and crawl back to me despite her hostile comments. Can't really explain why. Anyways, thanks for reading, and as always your comments are welcome. Update 3. Regaining confidence. 2 months after catching my wife cheating and continuous attempts to win her back, we had a huge fight a week ago because she revealed to me that she is seriously in love with AP. I left her and my 2-5-year-old daughter at home, traveled to my parents and relatives, visited a basketball game, cut my hair, took part in work-related trainings in a very stressed state, and today I went to see my daughter to my former home with a pumped-up mindset, preparing for potential conflict with STBXW and family members. Nothing negative happened. Gray rocked STBXW completely, had some small talk with family members, and had a wonderful time with my daughter. We had our bathing and sleeping routine and I took off to my place. The whole experience felt like I never left. I felt this pure connection, relived the pregnancy and her birth, and all of this made me think that there is nothing this laughable dancing clown, have footage of him dancing for our daughter on our sofa while I was at work, AP will ever do is going to take my place. Final update. Things cheating ex is fooling herself with. Was discussing matters with cheating ex about our child and co-parenting, and also some details about her AP which needed to be clarified from a previous heated argument. AP is 44, living bound to his ill mother, so according to my ex they barely had any time to spend together. Yeah, sure. It looked almost as if she forgot that I am not a close friend who she can complain to whenever she wants, so I cut her off in time. She then tried to praise AP for his unique way of looking at life, his brightness and fairness. She tried to demonstrate the latter trait with a twisted logic. After they discussed how bad our relationship with my ex was and felt already deeply connected, AP had the audacity to play the white knight. He, being 100% sure that he is the chosen one, told my ex that if she sees even a slight possibility of reconciling with me, then he is going to generously step out of the way. I could not help but smile on the inside how gullible this woman is. This was the first time I felt a glimpse of relief that I am starting to get less and less interested in her messed up personality. Story 2. Wife of 17 years cheated on me with close friend. We have 4 young children. Need advice on what to do as I am a total mess. Please help me. I've been living in a nightmare for more than 2 weeks now. I don't know what to do and am absolutely desperate for advice, which is why I'm posting this. I'll start at the beginning. Apologies for the long post. My wife, 41, has been having an affair with one of my best friends, I would call him my second best friend, for a year. We have 4 children, 2 of whom are autistic, and we've been married for 17 years. She is Canadian but lives with me in England on a marriage visa. My wife and my friend have been getting very close for a few years now as they have shared interests, e.g., going to the theater together, going to comedy clubs, drinking, partying, etc. They are both extroverts and enjoy having a good time, whereas I am more introverted and prefer to stay at home. He also has children, 2 boys, aged 8 and 12, and our families have known each other and been incredibly close for about 14 years. My wife and I have had a great marriage. We have always felt that we were meant for each other. However, over the years, I've sometimes had a few problems performing in bed which my wife usually responded quite negatively about, which made me feel worse about it. I'm probably also not quite as overly affectionate with her as she would like. I am definitely affectionate, compliment her, buy her flowers every so often, etc., but I know that she would want more than I give her on this front. Otherwise, our marriage has been genuinely fantastic and I am in shock that this has happened. About 2 weeks ago I saw a message pop up on her phone that she'd left on the couch. It was from my friend saying how beautiful she is and how I was still thinking about the last time they were intimate. When I saw this message I was so confused and shocked, and I kept trying to convince myself that it must have meant something else. But because I was suspicious, I checked her Maps timeline data that night while she was sleeping and there was very damning evidence. The following night I mustered all my courage and challenged her about it. She denied it over and over, gaslighting me, and then I showed her my evidence and only then did she finally admit it. I begged her for the full truth and she gave me a version of events that was, I later found out, very watered down. It took about 5 more days to get the full story, and that was mainly from my friend who'd decided to come clean with me and his own wife, who I had to tell, and she had no idea either. She was absolutely devastated, screaming, crying, etc. All in all they had sex 7 times, with the time between the 5th and 6th time lasting about 5 months, and the whole affair lasting 13 months. They also kissed, held hands, and did much more whenever they had the chance of privacy in between, even when the families were together. It's also worth saying that their affair started about a week after I found out that my mom had been diagnosed with cancer and would need some invasive treatments, surgery, chemo, etc., and therefore I was scared about the prospect of losing her. My wife's dad died a few years ago and so did my friends, and I of course stood by them both and supported them fully during this. It also turns out that she had told my friend and his wife about my performance issues, and that she had called me dull and boring. All this talking behind my back also really hurt me, as I'd never said anything about our sex life to anyone and never said anything bad about her behind her back. On the contrary, I have been her biggest supporter. The boring comment upset me because I work really hard for the family, and I'm involved in a lot of community and political work, which I feel is anything but boring. But I suppose she meant in the sense of not enjoying clubbing, drinking, partying, and being mediocre in bed. Now I don't know what to do. Should I separate from her, divorce her, or try to reconcile and fix our marriage? She wants me to go to therapy and for us to go to couples therapy, both of which I've agreed to. I'm scared to separate and especially divorce because it would devastate my children who are still quite young, 5, 7, 10, 12, and my 2 autistic children would find the changes to their lives particularly distressing. I am also worried about living a lonely life. I'm the kind of person that needs a partner around them, as I get lonely fairly easily. I worry about things like getting ill alone or having an accident. I'm also 45 years old and not particularly attractive, whereas she is very attractive and would probably find someone else much more easily than me. There's also the fact that I still deeply care for her and I already miss the life we had so much. The kids still don't know anything and we're still living together, but our marriage is only what I can describe as in limbo. She assures me that she has never cheated on me with anyone else, although she does admit that she can drink too heavily sometimes when she is out, to the point where she is flirting with other people, but she maintains that she knows never to cross the line. And that it only happened with my friend because they developed a strong closeness over the years. But she is telling me that he will never speak to him again, that she's desperately sorry, and that she wants to be with me. So, I need advice, desperately. I'm a total mess and just don't know what to do. Should I work on the marriage for the sake of stability for the children and the hope that we can get back to where we were before, and to avoid the fear of being alone, or should I separate and or divorce, which would have been financial consequences for me also? I've only given the abridged version here, so if you have any questions about any of the details or anything else, then I'll try to elaborate. Thanks so much. Edit. I just want to say, from the bottom of my broken heart, a huge thank you for the outpouring of support, advice and compassion you have all shown me. I'm truly overwhelmed. Thank you.